Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Run and Code, humor in South Texas law enforcement. I'm your host T-Bone. With me, got my back as always, my partner J-Man. J-Man, how you doing?
Sleepy, but I'm here.
Yeah, it's one of those Sunday mornings, and then of course Jax, our little canine, our wannabe canine. He's got the energy of a Belgian, but not quite the size or ferocity. So, as you see, we've started to finally crank out the episodes weekly, and we do appreciate everybody watching and logging in to download. We went over 10,000
Yep,
finally.
10K.
Yeah, that took a long time. I was actually kind of starting to wonder if maybe we just missed the mark altogether. Checking our emails, got no emails from anybody this week and no comments, so I'm kind of sad about that. But all right, whatever.
After today,
After today's
we,
episode, it might not be.
we might get a few.
We might lose a few, or we might get some comments, but you know what? That means people are watching. So, and if you learned something or you heard something you didn't like, sorry, your feelings are your problem, not mine. So, it has been ever since 20, really, is when this really ramped up. Today, we're going to talk about all the different police controversy topics, or the controversial police topics, if you want to put it that way. Use of force and racial discrimination, and just all this crap that it's been there since the dawn of time. It's not worse, it's not better, it's just the same. You're going to have bad apples in every bunch of any job you take. There's bad apples. Every profession there's bad apples. But being cops, everybody sees us. So they ignore what priests do, or the clergy do, or they ignore what doctors do, or they ignore what everyone else does, but not us, because we're not allowed to be human. We're robots. So as soon as you put that badge on, you are a robot. And trust me, you don't want a robot as a police officer. It just doesn't work. You need that empathy, you need that sympathy, you need those emotional human reactions. Now, we control our reactions, but you still want to deal with a police officer who has emotions and can empathize, because you don't, especially if you're a victim, you don't want the robot officer. You want to feel like you're heard, listened to, and if you're a turd, not every turd is the same level turd.
Yeah.
You got a class B, never offended before, polite and calm with you. He's not going to get the same response as a hardcore shithead who just bails out of jail and still continues to do the same shit over and over in and out of the prison system. Sorry, you're going to get two different responses there. And a lot of that is driven by the suspect. Mm-hmm. How he acts is how he gets treated. That's what people don't realize. If you do what we tell you to do, 99 out of 100, it works out just fine. I don't know why this is such a concept, but as soon as you start putting up the fight, you took away that officer nice. Now it's officer, I'm going to kick your ass because I don't have time for this. And we know that the longer a fight goes on, the more chance we have of getting hurt. So that's why we want to end it fast and end it now, because our job's not to get hurt. We're not going out injured or severely injured or dead because you want to put up a fight because you don't agree or consent to getting arrested. That's that horse shit thought process.
I have heard of an idea of like taking away discretion when it came to traffic stops. And I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 on it because that's what like most people complain about, right? Is that I got a citation, or you cutting people breaks for warnings, and you still get the old like halitosis treatment. Everybody you stop, give them a ticket.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't know, or you minimize the amount of things we can pull people over for, but then again, it's just like it's like a weird. I sat there, I listened to it, and then I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? This can spider into so many different things because, in one way, I think it's just discretion is a good thing, but it's just people like officers that are making bad judgments with the discretion.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, it goes to that whole like we're supposed to be like we can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
We have to be an automaton.
We're not allowed to make a mistake.
I don't know, like.
The way I did it was if I issued 100 tickets, generally 10 of them be warnings. I had a 90-10 ratio, tickets versus warnings. My job as a traffic officer is to enforce the traffic laws, not warn people of the traffic laws. They already know what the traffic laws are. They've been through driver's ed. They see the street signs. I don't need to warn you. You've been warned when you got your license. That was your warning. When you signed it, driver's ed is your warning. So the rest of them, to my mind, is like, no, you saw the speed limit sign. It's clearly marked. And you disregarded it. You know you're supposed to use a turn signal to warn traffic you're moving over. Now, putting on your turn signal, let me make that clear, is not permission to move over. I'm letting you know I'd like to move over, but that doesn't give you the right now to hit your turn signal and just move over. If it's not safe, you can't move over just because you put on a turn signal. I see it all the time. I put on my turn signal. Well, that doesn't mean that lane was clear.
Yeah, unsafe lane change is
You
like
know,
the most common thing
It's one
I
of
see
the
all the time.
biggest things that cause crashes.
Yep.
Is the unsafe lane change, especially on the highway.
Oh,
in
yeah.
rush hour. I want to get out of this lane. Whoop, then we get this lane.
Oh
and
yeah,
hit
so
the car
that-
coming up.
It's unsafe lane change. Then it's like disregard official traffic control device because most time it's right over the solid.
Yeah.
Over the solid line, and it's crazy. Yeah, that's a
Well, that's so. The official traffic control device, yeah. Once it's a solid line, it might as well be a solid barrier. You're not supposed to cross back over it. That's why it's solid. It's warning you there is no more moving over because they don't want anyone at the last minute trying to move over and hitting that barrier.
Yep.
And that's usually what it is. That's the whole point. Like lane markers are traffic control devices. Stay in your lane. You know, this lane is yours. This lane is 10 feet wide or 12 feet wide. This is your lane. Stay in your lane. So, but today we decided we're going to bring up some controversial topics and piss the world off, and that's fine because the truth hurts. You've heard it, you know, oh, cops are bad, cops are this, cops are that, we perjure, we lie, we steal, we hurt people, the list goes on and on and on. I can't dispute that has happened because, yes, of course it has happened.
yeah.
But it is not the pandemic that the media would want you to think, you know, to create controversy because controversy sells.
Yeah.
Peace does not sell, war sells, you know, and there's a difference between harmless and peaceful. And cops, we're supposed to be peaceful, but not harmless. If you have no ability to defend yourself or fight, you're not peaceful, you're harmless. If you have the ability to fight and you don't, that's peaceful. That's two different things. Cops, we try to be peaceful. Doesn't mean that we can't take care of business. It's just we choose not to.
Right.
So, because trust me, there was many times I could have used force and didn't. You know, giving them every chance in the book. And not because I was worried about them, it's because I didn't need to deal with any more paperwork. That really, honestly, at the end of the day, is what it is. You know, if we didn't have to do any more paperwork, putting our hands on people, or we do a lot more of it. But it's paperwork. So it's like, you know what, dude, I'm really trying here. You need to work with me. So, but while this stuff has always been there, and it goes in cycles. You know, L.A. early 90s. And then it just started to come back up. After 9/11, it got a little okay for a while because part of that patriotism thing, first responders, law enforcement, military, so on and so forth. And then it kind of went back down again. And then it went back up again. Then you had Ferguson.
Yeah.
And that didn't last as long because then the truth kind of came out and people kind of just shut up. Like, oh, okay, he didn't have his hands up. He wasn't walking away and shot in the back. You know, that's not what happened. But then 20, Floyd, and everything just exploded. Mm-hmm. And it's still on that downhill slide. So the topics we're going to discover are going to cover a wide range of topics: use of force, racial and ethnic disparity, police conduct or misconduct and accountability, ethical and operational issues, and then we're talking about the biggest problems facing law enforcement today, which are going to be recruitment and retention, officer wellness and morale, which is mental health usually, and public trust and accountability. How do we get that back? How do we get people to understand? And that's kind of why we do this podcast. We want people to understand who we are, what we do, why we do it, what the law says we can do. You're responsible as a citizen when you contact law enforcement. Law enforcement's responsibilities when they contact you.
Right.
We both have different responsibilities. So that's what we're going to go over today. Yeah, Jax. You got to get your 2 cents in there. I love it. So the biggest one, because it's the most visible, is use of force. That's the most visible. Because when you see 3 or 4 cops dogpiling somebody, you're like, oh my God, they're just kicking the crap out of that poor guy. No, they're trying to get him under control fast and get him cuffed before anyone gets hurt.
And it's I think too, like a lot of it's like fight or flight. When someone is well, let's put it in 2 different categories, right? Because what is the percentages? 93%?
No, 97% of contacts are verbal. 3% are physical. 2% want to just get away, and 1% wants to kill you.
So the 2% right there, when somebody's trying to get away from you, and the adrenaline's going, and the fight or flight is going, it's going to be hard to subdue that person.
Yeah.
Now,
without hurting them severely.
Right.
And that's the thing. We could hurt you worse than we do. We're trying not to, and that's why it looks so like, why is the officer struggling so bad? Because he's not trying to hurt this guy. If we wanted to hurt him, we could genuinely hurt him really badly. But now we created a bigger problem.
And I always wonder because when you're like dogpiling people, right? There's officers pulling against each other.
Yeah, and there's that.
And then the suspect is trying to get away, but then also sometimes it's like the skill level in uses of force or defensive tactics. We don't really get that much base training at the academy level.
No, you don't.
It's either you got to come with the background or you got to go and pay the money and get it afterwards.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is still the best all-around martial art for law enforcement. You
Yeah.
can get someone to control without hurting them too badly.
Right.
Or hurting yourself.
So that's why the use of force usually looks worse than what it is, because you got two individuals, both fight or flight. One has a bunch of equipment, one doesn't, and it's going to look ugly.
Yeah.
I've never not seen a fight look pretty.
No, and that's the thing public
like,
to understand. Use
it's
of force
crazy.
does not look pretty. It never has and never will. It looks bad. But the circumstances surrounding it are what makes it legitimate.
Right.
It's just how does it look?
Yeah.
You know, there's that one good video where the guy scores down an officer and the officer just decks him and immediately drops him.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God. Okay, he could have tussled and rolled around the floor with this guy, or one good shot and it's over. Gets him cuffed, problem solved.
And I kind of wonder, like, well, what do you want to do on the street? Somebody squares off with you, like, I mean, you gonna square it back, or you gonna run away, flee? I mean, I guess, but I don't see like the outrage when a dude squares up and an officer squares up. To me, that's a one-on-one. Okay, go ahead. Like, no, he or she did not even go for the intermediate weapons. Okay,
Yep.
you want to just throw some
Yep.
fists,
That's old school.
and you get the better of them. Oh, that's terrible. The officer shouldn't
Yeah.
have done that.
So the officer should have lost, basically.
What should he
To
have
make
done?
everyone look happy, the officer should have lost and got his ass kicked.
Like, you gotta back up and do this thing as a person that's
No.
like
Because the
approaching
more you do
advancing
that-
on you. That's not.
The more you do it, the more you encourage that behavior.
Yeah, that's
you
not-
knock someone's ass out, they go, okay, next time don't do that.
That's not advisable. Like,
Yeah. So let's start with use of force. So you got 4 different topics in use of force: officer-involved shootings, vehicle pursuits, excessive force, and police brutality.
Yep.
So let's start with OISs. Having been involved in them myself,
Yeah.
they're highly controversial.
Sure is.
It doesn't matter what that person did. It just looks bad because we had to take a life. But people forget 99 out of 100, we're not 99.999 out of 100. We're not walking up to do that. We give you warnings. Drop your gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Don't move. Show me your hands. Whatever action you are taking is causing our bullets to head your way. Whether you shot at us, presented a weapon, a car tried to run us over, whatever. That's why you got shot. The officer can just walk up on the car and just execute you in the back of the head like we're in the Chinese, military. That's not how that works. But that's not what people see. They just see we just went excessive out of nowhere and we filled them full of holes. Well, yeah, that's generally rules of a gunfight. Bring your friends with guns too.
I think that's fueled by like bad shoots.
Yeah.
So every shooting is seen that way, or
Immediately, all of it's
Or-
bad. They kill them for no reason.
Or-
And then the whole truth comes out and they're like, oh.
or we're supposed to have all these other alternatives to an armed individual, and they're not.
Sounds
and I
good.
feel like it's not. They're not even like appropriately placing these alternatives to the correct situations, because I don't know what you're like. The person's barricading themselves and they're shooting from the house. Okay, you can say that there's a strategic game plan you do to diffuse that situation.
Yeah, you call the negotiators, and
Right.
shut off his power, shut off his water, maybe toss a few smoke grenades or CS grenades in there to kind of get them to be like, hey man, we're trying to end this peacefully. Like, please stop.
Then
But that's a situation where we have time to get behind cover, concealment, come up with a game plan. We don't got to rush the house. We don't got to kill this guy. He don't got to kill us. But if it's a traffic stop and the guy gets out with a gun and starts sending rounds your way,
That's
like,
where
hey,
that's where it's like I feel like it's misplaced, because
It
it's
is.
like, well, you got to shoot. Well, why couldn't you just shoot the shoot a person in the hand or in the leg?
Sounds good.
I hear all that a lot. Even still, it's just like not even in like a gun safety class are you taught to shoot like an extremity like that. You're trained to shoot.
the only
center
ones that can
mass.
probably pull off shots like that are snipers.
Yes.
That's really it. Regular guys, you and me, we're 10 feet apart. I'm going for center mass because that's where you live, and I
Yeah.
want to stop you now. Now, if you live, great. I didn't kill you. Fantastic. I didn't want to. I wanted to stop you from killing me.
Right.
And if you live, fantastic. If you die, well, that just sucks. But that's not my job to die for you. So what people don't understand is anybody willing to kill a cop is an incredibly dangerous person as a whole for all of society, period. That's someone that does not care who they hurt or kill. Little lady could be next. Child could be next. Doesn't matter. If you've chosen to try to take on a cop, you're a dangerous motherfucker. And that's what people don't understand. Like, this is a truly dangerous person. Now, whether it's a mental health issue, they're drunk, they're high, just went through a divorce, just lost their job, fresh out of prison, got a parole violation, don't want to go back. There's something there, but at the end of the day, the action's the same. But us take them into custody one way or another.
Yep.
If we can do it peacefully without putting our hands on you, other than the handcuffs, fantastic. You pull a weapon on us, though, and you force that level, then you made the choice, not me.
Yep.
Because you knew, as every person knows, they don't have to shoot at us. They don't have to pull a gun on us, and they do what we say, and they're okay. They're not going to get beat. They're not going to get hit. They're not going to get punched. They're not going to get shot. It's over. So when you purposely choose to pull that weapon on us, then you are forfeiting your right to life. That is what it is. You made the choice. So why do we have less rights to self-defense than a regular citizen? Is what people don't understand. How come I have to take those bullets? Because I'm a cop? No, fuck you. No, no, and no. Sorry, I have a job to enforce the law. That's my job. You broke the law. My job is to take you into custody. You can go peacefully or you can go with a fight. You pick, but the end result's still going to be the same. Now, let's say you kill me and get away. Now you have every single law enforcement agency in the country looking for you. You're not going to make it far. Marshals are very good at finding you, and they'll find you in a shack in the middle of nowhere. And the minute you fire around to the marshals, game's over. they load you with so much ammo that you could attract a magnet from 100 yards away because you made a poor choice. Will they take you into custody if you stand up with your hands up? Yes, they will. They will take you into custody, but the minute you show that deadly intent, that's it. You already showed it once. That's it. They're not going to assume that you're going to give up this second time around. So the minute you do anything other than what they tell you to do, they just assume, okay, he's going to want to kill another one. And they fill you full of lead. It is what it is. You made the choice. So officer-involved shootings, the most controversial, especially if they caught on camera and you don't get the entire backstory. Of course it looks bad. Doesn't mean it is bad. And there's very few that actually are bad. Very few. Have there been some? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because we're human beings. We make mistakes too. And the officer pays the price for that. But not all shootings, just because you pull the trigger, are bad. Just because the suspect was black or suspect was brown. Or it doesn't matter. I've never ever taken race into consideration in a use of force or anything like that. It never crossed my mind. What is this person doing? Mm-hmm. This person right here, what is he doing? I don't give a shit what color you are, and I don't think any other officer I know gives a shit what color you are. Maybe down in southern Alabama. But the rest of the civilized country, no, not really. We don't really care. What did you do? So, OAS is obviously. The second one is vehicle pursuits, which that's a little more near and dear to my heart because that was my world. I chased cars. I probably set the record. I had pursuits go for 3-4 counties. You have to use common sense and good judgment as the officer if you are conducting a pursuit.
Yeah.
When is the best time? If it's rush hour traffic and it's raining, probably not a great time to be chasing a car. I want to let that go. Backcountry road, nobody around, broad daylight, get it. Because only one or two of you is going to crash, him or you. That's pretty much it. Highway heading south out of the county where there's nothing out there, oh, go for it. There ain't no one to hurt. He's going to keep going. You're going to keep going. He's going to run out of gas. He's going to roll, flip, whatever he does. And then it's our fault because he ran. Yeah, we're taking you into custody. You broke the law, whatever it was. Nobody runs just for speeding. There's another reason they're running. We know that in law enforcement. Drugs, guns, warrants, there's something there you don't want us to find. Now, bullet bikes are the exception. If I see a bullet bike and no plate, I already know they're going to run. I mean, I automatically know it. They're going to run. To them, it's a game. They think this is fun until they crash, and then the family blames us. That's why I light them up. They take off. I chase them for about a quarter of a mile just to show that I was trying to stop you, and you saw me, and then I kill the lights.
Road spaghetti.
I'm not going to continue it because you're going to crash. The family's going to blame us. It's our fault you stopped our son who was doing 110 on the highway. It's our fault that your son was a fucking moron. Yeah, it's our fault. Maybe you should have raised him better. Maybe not dropped him on his head so many fucking times. Okay, I do believe that does start with good parenting. Now, some kids just go bad regardless. Yeah. But for the most part, you raise the kids right, they generally make the right choices. That's why what I used to do is I see a bullet bike and no license plate, I back off and just follow them. Wait till they get to a gas station. As soon as they get off the bike, pull the pump, put it in, then I pull up and hit my lights. And I've had them try to jump back on the bike, and I already out of the door, and I just knocked the bike over on top of them. Like, nope, now you're under arrest. And then, hey, where's your license plate? Okay, well, I'm towing the bike, and you're going to jail now for attempted evading. You got your ID on you? No, I don't have it on me. Okay, I can find out who you're at the jail. We'll figure out who you are. Well, look at that, evading warrants. Shocker, But yeah, vehicle pursuits. It does lead to fatality crashes. It really sucks when you're chasing a car. They bomb an intersection, hits and kill somebody. That's on us. Mm-hmm. Righteously, it's on them. But legally, it's going to be on us. We could have let this one go. Now, it depends on the offense. If we're chasing a mass murderer, we kind of have to do everything we can to get this guy stopped. If we're chasing a guy for speeding, sometimes you got another one to go, you know what, ain't worth it. Call it a day. But at the end of the day, it's not against the law for us to chase cars. It's an agency policy. If you look at most state police agencies, Texas DPS, Georgia State Police, Florida Highway Patrol, them boys don't care, and they're going to run you into the ground, and they're not going to get in trouble for it. You chose to run, and their directors back them up. Like, yeah, well, he chose to run. He could have pulled over any time. Like, that's on him, not on us. And he backs their people up, and everybody knows that. Georgia don't let you go. Florida don't let you go. Texas don't let you go. They don't let you go. It's not against the law for us to chase cars. It is a agency policy that prevents that. And then, or they'll say you can only for these reasons, or don't chase at all, or whatever. You got some agencies getting rid of foot pursuits.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Who are you going to hurt now? It's either he's going to get hurt, or you're going to hurt in a foot chase. Not going to hurt anybody else.
They're probably saying that just for like officers who trip, maybe like fall off the terrain.
Okay, well that could happen just getting out of your car. You don't see the oil slick next to your door, and you get out and whoop, boom, land on your ass. I'm like, come on.
So that could be done for a number of things.
Yeah.
A number of things.
It's more like they know, well, here's why. Because we all know that a foot chase is going to end in violence.
Yeah.
When you get a hold of them, it's going to end in violence. And chances are good someone's going to get hurt. So that's kind of how it used to be. Like you knew automatically your ass whipping was coming if you ran from us. That was automatic. And that was just understood in the criminal community that an ass whipping was automatic for running. This is how it was. I'm not saying that's always right. If the guy turns around, okay, I'm done. Yeah, that should be the end of it. You put him in cuffs. You turn around and squares off, that's a whole different story. Like you spike him on the way by and then you dogpile him and call it a day. Excessive force, kind of part of that is so unnecessary force during arrest, interrogations, or interactions, or other interactions. Interrogations, that's long over. I haven't even heard of something like that happening in I don't know how long.
Especially
because
since
interrogations
they're
all
all
have cameras.
videotaped, yeah.
Everything's on camera.
They're not like
and they can be monitored live from other officers.
they're not
like,
pulling the Elliott Stabler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not bouncing our heads off tables, or kicking the crap out of them. We're not doing that shit. That's long dead and gone. It needs to be long dead and gone. Fighting, what you view as excessive, I might view as normal. So you have that perception lag. If you and we're going at it, and we are rolling on the ground, we are seriously going at it. Like it's punching, kicking, punching, and then all of a sudden you stop. It takes me a second to realize that. You may get a few extra hits before I realize, oh shit, he's giving up, roll you over and cuff you. Oh my God, that was excessive. No, it wasn't. Perception lag. Especially when you're amped up all the way and you've been fighting, like brawling with this guy. I'm not talking about the guy who just kind of pulled away a little bit. Like, no, that's not the same vein. So, yeah, police brutality, it goes into police brutality. So this refers to the excessive and unwarranted use of force, including beatings, shootings, and improper takedowns.
I mean, and it's I don't know. Maybe it's just like, was it less like I won't say it doesn't happen because it still happens. I see like videos of uses of force or whatever. Sometimes you're just looking at stuff. I'm like, it probably could have been done better. That's pretty bad. That was pretty bad, but it's like it's a small percentage of all use of force.
It is,
incidents.
But you know as well as I do that what looks bad ain't always bad.
Yeah.
What was the totality behind it? What were the circumstances behind that? What started that whole incident? Like we don't walk up on a speeder, grab him out of the car and start beating his ass.
Yeah.
Well, you may see that, but what you don't know is that he just beat the shit out of his wife and his kids. She called 911, gave the description of the vehicle. The other officer stopped him. The minute he said, get out, the guy puts up any kind of fucking resistance, negative, out you're coming. Because we had a reason for that. Yeah. It wasn't a speed stop, so it was domestic violence. They got to take you into custody. So, but people only see the end result, not what led up to it. And they go, oh my God, that was so excessive. Not really. And the biggest problem is agencies not getting out on top of this shit quick.
Or
real fast. Like, this is what really happened.
Too soon without all the facts
jumping the
themselves.
gun.
Yeah,
and
so
there's that too. So there's a balance.
It's always like...
There's a balance. So that's use of force. So the OAS is vehicle pursuits, excessive force, police brutality. The next one, though, is really what BLM and Ben Crump will try to make you believe is 99.9% of policing is racial and ethnic profiling and systemic racism. Couldn't be further from the fucking truth. You are a black man in America. Would you say that it's an accurate statement that all cops are racist and we use race as justification for everything?
No.
Careful.
No.
Because you might not get any help from Ben Crump if you ever need it.
Oh, I mean that's fine. It's just like
him, Jesse Jackson, and Al Sharpton, all three need to fucking be like tossed in a fucking cliff. All three of them assholes have done nothing but drive this shit forward instead of cooling it.
Is it like? Is there like a terrible relationship between black people and police? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
And I
'cause
get
it's
that.
historically.
It's historical,
It's historical,
but it's not modern.
As far as modern goes, like there are like obviously amends are being made, but if you can't really like try to move on from the sins of the past, where it was an overwhelming majority. I mean, I don't freaking know. I wasn't alive during like
Well,
all
that's
that
it.
stuff back then.
Nobody alive today had anything to do with that shit in the past. Was it shameful? Absolutely. Was it horrid? You bet it fucking was. But it is in the past. We can't do anything about it now. We can't undo it. We can't fix it. We can't change it. We can just not repeat it. So let it go.
I know. Well, obviously, police departments are trying to diversify as much as they can because
But not at the
they're-
expense of safety.
Right, they're trying to change that old former image. It's just like, well, when has it been long enough to when it's accepted? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to be some. I can't speak for.
I'm not a sociologist.
I can't speak for all black people either. And it's like, I understand, but I have to I have to tread a very careful line.
But when does
I recognize it and I understand it.
When
So,
does it become a crutch?
I don't know. So I'll give you an example. I remember I pulled over a guy from Florida, and black guy. He broke down and he cried because he thought I was going to kill him. Now, me, like, the first initial reaction is, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to kill you. You got pulled over for speeding and equipment violations. But then again, I have to take the second back. I have to take a second step back, and I have to break it down to the racial level because, unfortunately, that's what it is. He's afraid. He's afraid I was going to kill him. Even though we're the same skin color, I'm not black when I'm wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
I'm a police officer. I'm an agent of the government. I'm the authority. That he believes that we just kill black people with impunity, and at these alarming rates that the federal government or these other state legislators just ignore. So that traffic stop took a while. I wrote him warnings for it, and we had like a pretty good discussion to talk. And it's kind of funny because I found myself not even saying that, hey man, the police were not bad, because I know that's not true. There are bad police out there. My interaction with him was good, but who's to say he's driving around, he goes to some other town smaller than the county that I work in, and he has a negative experience because it's uneducated, don't give a shit type of cop, because those ones still exist.
They do.
Then who am I to say? Who am I to like? I guess like not confirm his experience. All because I'm looking for the lens of there really aren't that many bad cops no more. It's just, well, what happens when you run into the right one?
Yeah.
We run into the bad one, and then that's just kind of what you carry for the whole time. It's very perplexing for me. I really wish I could have a straight answer for this, but I really don't.
Well, because there isn't one. There's no easy answer.
Think about.
There's no easy answer.
I still think about it so much, and it's just like there's so many different sides to consider. When it comes strictly to race, black people, and law enforcement, I kind of usually leave that topic alone because I don't know. I don't think I've seen enough to just for black people to not have an innate fear. I really don't, and that kind of makes me look like a I guess I don't know, like some libtard or whatever, something like that. I don't know. That's going to be my position.
So
until that's going to be my position. Just until I don't know.
So,
Because I don't know. That's not the first time that's happened to me on a traffic stop, and it definitely won't be the last time.
no,
It sucks.
I've dealt with it too.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a horrible feeling.
So, racial profiling is the practice of targeting individuals for suspicion based on race or ethnicity, and it's a controversial issue. Obviously, we don't.
Yeah.
If you work in an area that has a higher population of a certain demographic than other, then that's going to be the majority of your contacts. That is what it is.
And I don't think people, sociologists, researchers, I don't know, local politicians, I really don't know if they take that into consideration because just like you said, well, the overwhelmingly majority of this deputy, this officers, this troopers stops is with this one racial demographic. Well, what's the demographic of the zone that they patrol?
It's the demographic of the area he's working in.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
No, yeah, no
Are
shit.
you supposed to racially profile then?
Yeah,
just so the
now I
numbers are
better
skewed?
only pull over
Right.
the photo negative of that. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
it's like you're going to ask for a racial profile to reduce the numbers from the demographic of the zone that you work, but then that is racial stereotyping. by law, we can't even do that in the state of Texas.
We can't do it in any state now. So Sandra Bland Act is what made that required to report your demographics on
Yeah.
traffic stops for, male, female, black, white, Indian, Asian, other, shit like that. Thank God they haven't added all the gender bullshit in there. But
Could happen.
and I'm sure it's coming.
It could happen.
There'll be another Sandra Bland type incident, and that'll fucking pop up too. We have to
Sure.
add that.
I really sure hope
male, female, other, trans, whatever. But when I did traffic stops, because I was doing about 50 traffic stops a day as a traffic officer, when they ran my numbers in every month, and because they would pull those demographics up,
Yeah.
I was pretty much a wide variety. It wasn't any one race or gender. It was a pretty wide variety. Black, white, Asian, not a whole lot of Indian, but black, white, some Asian. It was black, white, and Hispanic. That's the three really you're going to get in this area.
Yeah.
And then male and female was pretty much about 50-50.
Yeah.
And so that's when it kills that argument about, you only stop because I'm black. From the back, we don't know what the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Even in daylight, we don't always know what the hell you are from 100 yards behind you.
And now with people tinting the windshield,
Yeah, so I don't
we
have
really
a damn
don't know.
clue.
Yeah.
So because of that, no one could ever make the argument that I was racially discriminatory. Nope. Look at my numbers.
And I'm pretty sure that's just the majority, because when you're doing traffic, you're looking for violations.
And I'm looking for the vehicle violations, not the driver.
Yeah.
I don't care about the driver until I get up to talk to him. Other than that, I care about the car.
It's like,
What's the car doing?
I bet you won't pull over a Mercedes doing this. I probably would, because
Yeah, look at my
Mercedes
numbers.
drivers are terrible.
And if you look at my numbers, yeah, I pulled them all over, from rich to poor to old to fat, thin, young, black, white. Everybody got pulled over. I didn't
Kind
give
of
a
funny,
shit.
like it's like I do hear people like, oh, you don't like the luxury cars get a pass when
hell no,
luxury
they don't.
car owners drive probably
They
I
drive
don't
the
know,
worst.
they drive the worst.
They're horrible.
They drive the worst. Like, and I'm a little peaked because I've been just having issues with BMW drivers.
Yeah, no,
Like,
there's
this whole
a
week.
rep. There's a rep about BMW and Mustang drivers. They really are. Mustang drivers can't control their cars, and BMW drivers are assholes.
Yeah, it's
Now,
true.
is that true across the board? No,
No,
but that's the stereotype.
it's been this week though.
Okay. But that's the stereotype, right? So that's racial and ethnic disparities. I'm not going to foot stomp that too much, because those of you listening probably have a brain in your skull, and you can figure this out on your own, that's 99.999% horse shit. Now, if you go further south, maybe to some uneducated areas of Mississippi or Alabama, sure, the numbers might go up, because that is systemic racism passed on generationally. But when you get in any of the bigger cities or bigger states, like Texas, California, not really. We're pretty much in this county is a hodgepodge of everybody. We have everybody here. Like, your best friends are black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian. Like, it's a hodgepodge. It's not like you're in West Beverly Hills, where you pretty much have one demographic with a few black people sprinkled in there that got lucky enough to be millionaires right along with them. Where we live in Texas, pretty much all the big states in Texas are pretty much a wide racial pot, mixed pot of everybody.
Yeah.
And no one cares. Texas is the least racist state I've ever seen. Honestly, it really is. Because everybody grows up with everybody here. Everybody's here. So it's that whole, it's systemic. No, it's not. You racially profile. No, we don't. So I'm not going to go further on that one, because that one just opens up a whole can of worms.
Yep. And I feel like I've already said too much.
Yeah. But I mean, they heard it from you, not me. So you're good. I'm safe because you said it.
I didn't even say anything that just hasn't already been talked about.
No, I mean,
It's
it's
just
been talked about to death since probably the early 80s is really when they probably started really foot stomping it. The next topic is police misconduct and accountability. Types of misconduct. So, range of actions: false arrest, falsifying evidence, coercion, perjury, and lack of accountability. So let's talk about those in turn. So, false arrests. That's incredibly rare. We arrest based on probable cause.
I would say false arrest happens because of stupidity and emotions.
Ego.
And ego.
Ego.
That's
Ego's probably what's
that's
going to cause
the
it.
work. That's where I've seen like the examples of it happen of recent times. Not talking about in the past. When I'm talking about recent times, is ego,
It's
stupidity,
ego
and
lack
just
of
to know.
lack of information, lack of
Yeah,
knowledge.
just didn't
of
know.
what can you cannot do. So
Yeah.
the stupidest phrase you'll ever hear from a cop who goes to a house: "If I come back here, someone's going to jail." That is the stupidest fucking phrase you can say, because if you couldn't arrest him then, what makes you think you can arrest him next time around? Now you get there a second time around. Well, now you have to arrest somebody because you said it. What's the charge?
Yep.
Now you look like a jackass, and if you don't arrest anybody, you lost all credibility.
Yep.
Don't say that fucking sentence. If you don't have an offense, you don't have an offense. Don't threaten them with an arrest when there is no offense even current. Because now you just sound like a jackass. That's it. You sound like a jackass. Stop that.
Yep.
Falsifying evidence. I guess that's going back old school planting guns or planting drugs or whatever, justifying arrest or use of force. That's asinine, period, honestly. It's like, I tell officers, especially cadets, like, if you like to fight, don't go looking for it. It will come to you.
Yeah.
It may not come to you on the day you want it to, but it will come to you. You don't have to go looking for it. It will come to you. You'll have 99 peaceful arrests, and you get that one guy that just swears he ain't going back to jail.
You have those.
Now, go for it. But know when to stop, too. And coercion. I've never really seen coercion. I mean, not in modern times, really, have I seen coercion.
I mean, not really. Like, you hear, like, small little examples, but it's...
Yeah, in 2025, you're not really getting a whole lot of that. Cameras do stop a lot of that, too, which, again, I have no problem with cameras. Cameras are accountability for both sides.
Yeah.
That's why I like them. Lawyers don't like them, because it makes your client look like the shithead he really was acting like. You know, sorry, that's how your client really was acting. You know, sorry, the jury gets to now see that. Perjury. Here's when officers lie under oath on the stand. And then you get Brady or Giulio. If you don't know, officers, just say, I don't know. Don't lie. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the hardest sentence for an officer to use. I don't know. They feel like, oh my God, I lose all credibility if I don't know something. Well, you can't know everything.
Don't give a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yeah, just say, if you really truly don't recall, say, I don't recall. This was 3 years ago. Because as happens in this county, with the backlog of criminal prosecutions, it may be 3 to 4 years before you go to court. And you're trying to remember something that happened 3 to 4 years ago. And you can read your report all day long, but there's stuff that you forgot was even said that didn't go in the report because it wasn't crucial to the offense. You didn't bother putting it in. But then you got to understand, did you say that? I don't recall. Well, we'll play the video. Okay, we'll play the video then. He's trying to get you to commit perjury is what he's trying to do, or you give some bullshit answer. Just say, I don't know. I don't recall. It's been 4 years. The longest I ever had was a 4-year time lapse. 4 years. And I was like, I don't remember the case. And they gave me my report. I was reading it. I'm like, still don't remember it. I'm literally only testifying off of this. And I'm like, so we can do that, but I don't know what,
I wonder,
okay.
like, so you know how kind of like emotions can get the best of like an officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they try to like explain away or justify like bad actions. Could you say that's like it's creating so it's a false misrepresentation of what actually happened.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess could you say that's like a falsifying arrest or tampering with evidence, because even though an officer's report is hearsay, it's still generally just like generally put in there as evidence for a statement of like true accounts of what happened.
I mean, it's understood that when we write a report, we're writing it true and accurate to the best of our knowledge.
Yeah.
That is the purgical statement that they put at the bottom of reports. It's understood when you sign this report, you're saying everything in here I put here is true.
Yeah.
And that's why our credibility is so vital and crucial.
Yeah.
You cannot lie. People need to be able to believe what you write.
Yeah.
Because what if your camera dies? Because you've been using it all day long, and on this particular arrest, the camera died right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
That could happen.
And it happens, and it does happen. If your cameras don't have infinite battery, they do die. If you've been using it all damn day long, it's going to die on you. If you have a 10-hour shift or a 12-hour shift, it may not make it to the end.
Yeah.
And you still got to write down what happened. You can't be like, camera died, this offense is over, we'll come back and try this another day. So we need that credibility. Officers, you cannot lie. You have to have credibility. You have to be able to like, no, we trust this officer. He's never, ever been found to be untruthful. We can believe what he says. The prosecutor can say, we believe what he says because of his multitude of arrests and everything he's ever done has coincided with his video footage, and this camera died, but we have no reason to believe he lied.
Yeah.
And that makes it easier for a jury to go, okay, we believe the officer. So don't lie, because it just creates so many damn issues down the road.
Yeah.
Lack of accountability. Debates exist over how to hold officers accountable for their actions. Officers are held accountable. Don't get me wrong, they are. Does it happen the way the public wants to? No. But but the public doesn't understand how we work.
There. So it's like, I think I was listening to I think like a little conversation between, I want to say one's former cop and the other one is, it was actually between a former cop and a First Amendment auditor, right? And they were talking about accountability because, in a roundabout way, First Amendment auditing is the public's attempt to hold police accountable, right? That's what they say anyway. And I will admit, some of them do it because of the style that they audit. And then the other ones, of course, you get the freaking, well, like,
You get the jack.
you get the jackass, like, they're just pretty much, well, fuck you. I'm not going to do a fucking thing you say. First Amendment, First Amendment, First Amendment.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
it's the, we're going to get some comments from that. There you go. But then there's the ones that, I mean, they just record. They peacefully say, well, this is my right to do this, X, Y, and Z. And you still have officers to this day that don't know how to leave them alone.
They engage with them.
Right. And I'm talking about the peaceful ones, not the one
I'm not talking about the ones that are trying to get
They're
your
trying to
goat.
get your attention.
The ones who are just standing there filming you,
And
the
then-
officer that keeps looking over there, you look over there. You know what I used to do? Hey man, how you doing? I'd acknowledge him. Hey man, how you doing? And now I've made it clear I see you, and I'm not bothered by it.
So I will say that's the public's intent, right? Because because they're not delving deep into, like, I guess you want to say, FOIA request. Maybe any large municipalities, how they discipline their officers, deputies. You're going to see that officers get disciplined for a lot in the larger places, and from an officer's standpoint, some of it, I think it's a little too much sometimes. Like, there's situations where if two officers are going to have a conversation in a public place, right? And let's say both officers swear. As a citizen can make a complaint saying that they were using unpleasant language in a public setting. The officers can still catch days for it, 3 days. I don't think that's right because, number one, if the officers aren't addressing it, work like on a bullhorn or something like that to the whole store, their conversation, it's a conversation between two people in a public place. You should mind your business. But there are departments that go as far to hold their officers accountable that they can't even speak the way they want to speak. Now I'm not talking about like loudly talking about, I don't know, like a suicide or a homicide.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about just in general. You're just talking with your partner. And John Q. Citizen.
We
hears
can't
any
complain
complaints.
about what the citizens at the next table are talking about.
Yeah.
You know, they're having their own conversation. I can't be like, hey, stop it.
Yeah.
Unless they're talking about something illegal, you know, or screwing children or some stupid shit like that. Like, you have nothing to say to them. That's their conversation.
All right. As far as the debates on how to hold officers accountable, I mean, what much can you really do except for like charge officers criminally if they violate the law,
If they
commit a
break the law,
crime,
and we do.
discipline
And we
officers
do.
when they violate policy.
Yeah. But just
And-
because you don't like something doesn't
Right.
mean the agency needs to hold us accountable. Because what are you holding us accountable for? We do anything wrong, there's nothing to hold us accountable for.
Right.
Like, hey, deal with it. You didn't like what he said, so what? Like, deal with it. I'm sorry. There seems to be this, these days seem to think that we can never be rude, as they put it. No, I'm being direct. I'm telling you what you don't want to hear. That doesn't make me rude just because you don't like the information. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is the answer. Whether you like it or not, that's your answer. I'm sorry you don't like it. Have a great day. And they get pissed. Oh my God, you're so rude to me. No, I just told you no, which you don't like hearing. And then I gave you the law, which you don't want to hear because it doesn't coincide with what you think the law is. The difference is I have the penal code in black and white on my side, and you have feelings and emotions. Those two don't coincide.
Yep.
That's why you don't represent yourself, because you can't control your emotions. So
Yeah.
you see how I tied that together? I'm like a wizard.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
It's just, it's like there's the departments. They're going long ways that I just feel the public. There's a word, that word feel, but they're not choosing not to address it. There has to be more tweaks to it. How much tweaking are you going to do to something before you just kill the morale? To kill the morale of a department.
Or you lower their productivity.
You lower
by
their
doing
productivity.
the bare minimum. Be like, hey, if I don't do anything, I can't get in trouble.
And then-
I'm getting paid the same as the guy who's working his ass off. So why should I kill myself? I get in trouble every time I get proactive. So I'm just gonna sit here.
And then there comes the other complaint, but it'll be from the citizens to your council and or the police chief or the sheriff. It's just like, well, they're not doing enough. Well, it's already a fine line, tightrope already and you can't tug too much on one side or the other because
How much
you're
more
gonna
do you want us
fall.
to do?
So it's the public needs to be more forgiving, also, and more open to. Okay, we got to accept some things happen with a different type of approach. If you want there to be strict 100% whatever accountability you think is going to happen, just federalize law enforcement, because then you will truly have a one way across the board standard,
You have a police
and
state,
you're going to have a robot.
Yeah.
You're going to have an automaton. It's there's will be no more discretion.
Yeah.
But you want to have that at the price of 100%, whatever you want to choose is accountable.
Yeah.
You can't get mad if it happens. Like, if it happens, that's what ultimately that's what the acceptance was. I think one thing I've heard too is that they wanted a repeal of like Terry v. Ohio. I've heard that talk because it's like, well, that gives the police just like, the ability just to accost a citizen freely. I'm
No,
like, that
it
wasn't
doesn't.
the point of Terry v. Ohio.
That was not the point. The
You're
point was
choosing
that
bad examples. The minute
if I feel
bad
you have a
example,
weapon or a threat to me, I can pat you down for a weapon. It's called a Terry frisk. It's not a search. I'm patting you down for a weapon. That's all it is.
and an
Do you have anything
investigatory
that can hurt me?
detention, if you believe that individual or suspected individual is doing something criminal. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah, it was.
Using the minute like examples of officers misusing Terry, and I won't even say it's purposely being misused. They don't understand it,
They don't understand it. That's probably a lot of it.
and they're dicking it up.
Yep. And then it makes us all look bad. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot, guy.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of this is just really, in my opinion, it's just
Officers
don't know.
misapplying case law.
Case law. That's all it is. That's all it is.
That's what it is. And that's why it behooves every officer to really understand and know their case laws, that especially the big ones: Garner versus Tennessee, Graham versus Connor, Miranda, Terry v. Ohio. Wilson, is it Wilson v. Arizona?
Oh, you're talking. Oh, there's Arizona, Miranda, and Maryland versus Wilson.
Maryland versus
That's
Wilson.
for passengers.
That's the one.
That's for
Yeah.
passengers. And
But I mean,
Pennsylvania's for
and
drivers.
Pennsylvania versus Mims.
It's
You
for
know, it
drivers,
behooves you
yeah.
to know your limits and your rights as an officer, what you can and can't ask someone to do. And if you do that, you'll never go wrong because you have a case law to back you up. You're like, nope. Pennsylvania versus Mims says absolutely can. But obviously, your agency policy trumps all. So
Yeah.
what if your policy says don't? Well, then don't.
Probably should.
Find a different agency. And then the last one for the accountability, police misconduct accountability, is off-duty conduct. That gets officers in trouble all the time because once you do accept that commission as a police officer or sheriff's deputy or state trooper, even federal agents, you don't get off-duty privacy like every civilian does. You really don't anymore. You're supposed to be the best of the best, even off-duty.
Yep.
We're human, so you better not have an argument with your wife because she calls 911 and says, we're having an argument. You're not just Joe and Jane Smith having an argument. You're a police officer having an argument with his wife or her husband.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, oh my God, he did something wrong because they're arguing. We're human fucking beings too. We have the same pressures in marriage and relationships as anyone else does. Why is it all of a sudden because I'm a cop, I'm expected to be a robot? Honey, you have made me angry, but I will be calm. No, the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Now, I'm not talking about officers who go out and get a DWI, dude. You deserve to be arrested. You fucking know better. You did it. I got no sympathy for you. You want sympathy out of me? Look in the dictionary between shit and syphilis, and you can find your sympathy there. You made your fucking choice. Okay? But having an argument with your wife at home and the neighbors calling the cops does not mean you should have a code through response from every officer in the area, plus the sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and chief show up, internal affairs shows up, public integrity shows up, all wanting to burn you at the fucking stake. Like, yeah, we had a verbal argument. Like, we're a married couple, dude. We're going through some shit like everyone else does. Oh, so your marriage is perfect, chief? Is that what you're telling me? Like, get the fuck out of here. You know, so... But off-duty conduct can fuck you. It absolutely can fuck you. And it has fucked many an officer as their off-duty conduct, where they have exemplary on-duty. Off-duty, it goes to shit.
That's another thing. When you're off duty, you should be considered a private citizen.
You should be.
Unless you are invoking
You
your
should get the
authority.
same response as any other private citizen would fucking get.
Yep.
So,
If you're like invoking your authority in some weird situation, okay, fine. Then of course it goes away. You're no longer a private citizen.
yeah, because you invoked your
displayed-
authority as a law enforcement
Right.
officer. Yeah.
But if you want to just go out with a group of friends, you get a little loud at whatever group setting, and it's like, oh, and then it comes out, oh, like look at these officers just enjoying themselves. Is any of them wearing a badge out in public? Is
Yeah.
any of them wearing
How
anything
dare they
that
enjoy
identifies them
themselves?
as an
How dare
officer?
they have a life
No.
outside of work? How dare you have a life outside of work?
It's just strange.
I guess they expect us to go home and lock ourselves in some sort of crypt, and then until we wake up and go right back to work. Like, fuck you. We have lives too. So that's that section of it. Police misconduct, ethics, stuff like that. So, but the biggest problem now facing law enforcement because of all that is recruitment and retention. Officers are like, fuck this. I remember back when you had 1,000 people applying for 50 positions. Now we're lucky if we get 60 applying for the same 50 positions. And we need those people so badly that we are starting to take people we normally would not and going, we'll give you a chance, fingers crossed. And of course, shocker of shockers, they fuck up royally, put us on the news, and everybody acts shocked.
That's just.
I'm like, well, you saw his background. Like, this shouldn't have come as a surprise to you. Mm-hmm. You should have been like, shocked didn't happen sooner. Like, come on. And then retention. People are like, you know what? I was going to make a career out of this, but 5 years in, fuck this. I ain't doing this shit for 20 years. And they bail out and become real estate agents, and usually very successful ones.
Yeah.
Start a private business. A lot of them do, and they're very successful because being a cop is one thing that really sets you up to do really anything in life. You can be a cop, you can do anything. Because it really is one of those unique jobs that handles so many different scopes at one time that it gives you such a broad range of experiences with humans and people that they're actually usually very, very successful in whatever venture they go do.
Yeah.
So, but that's recruitment and retention. So those are the big ones. So you get a shortage of good officers because they dip out. Or they go to another agency that actually takes care of their people, backs their people up, pays better, gives better benefits. And officers are like, well, I can do the same job over there, maybe not as busy because it may not be as big of the agency, but man, they give you training, they give you equipment, the pay's better, the benefits are better, the schedule's better. We've heard the rumors about admin there backing their officers up instead of throwing them to the wolves for political expediency for the screaming left. Yeah, so they leave these huge agencies like, fuck you, we're out of here. And so you just lost it. You trained the officer. He learned his trade in the worst parts of town, and now he's going on to what's going to be a sunshine agency.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm out of here. And like, fuck, we need to replace that guy and all his training experience. And the only thing that replaces training experience is training and experience.
I think Dallas PD was experiencing that. Like
huge shortage.
They
were like, we're out of here.
Like officers are like, the cadets are getting trained up, and they're bailing out before they even start FTO. They graduate, they're already in the process with another agency close by the Dallas area, like just right outside the city limits.
Yeah, so
and then they bail out and go over there.
They get their license in Dallas and then just go to another agency. And they're like, great, you went through a professional academy. We'll just go put you through FTO and put you on the road.
Appreciate and the leadership there is trying to figure out, well, how do we put a stopgap to that? Which, I hate to say it, for large municipal cities, you're not going to.
You can if you charge them. Like, you sign here that you must do at least 2 years with us, or you pay back the cost of your academy.
Right.
That might knock it down.
And honestly, that would be, I would see as acceptable for them because, you're applying. If you're applying to a large agency, you should expect going in that this is what you're going to deal with. Mm-hmm. You're going to deal with the politics. And for those who think the politics escape when you go to a small place, it doesn't.
They don't.
It's harder to hide from.
It can actually be worse.
The politics affect you worse at a small place.
That's why you have to hope you have an admin that backs their people up.
Right. But you want to work for a large municipal agency, that's what you're going to get.
But if you're 21,
you're going to get the heavy crime, the heavy calls.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, you're going to feel like a cog in a machine, but that's just the difference between a large municipality and a small municipality or a medium-sized one.
But when you're 21, you don't think about stuff like that. You're 21. That's the last thing on your mind is politics. You're 21. Your first thought is, I'm going to go out and kick ass, take names, and make arrests. You're not thinking, what are the politics in this agency? Should I go talk to some officers in that agency? That's what I did. I went and talked to officers. Like, hey, tell me about this agency. And, well, back then, it was very highly thought of.
Yeah.
And people are like, hell yeah, man, come on over. The same officer now are like, run like hell, dude.
And that'd be from all over. Like, it doesn't matter.
Policing's changed.
Yeah.
So staffing, training, recruitment, retention, huge problems. And that's creating the bigger problems. Now you have the shortages, and then you get an influx of brand new guys that don't know anything because they're brand new, and that creates its own set of fucking problems. And the pool of experience is getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they're hitting retirement, or they're just leaving. They're like, man, fuck this, I'm out of here. And so now you have guys that are considered senior officers at 3 years.
Yeah.
When I came on, you weren't a senior officer until like 8 to 10 is when you started hitting about the senior officer range, where you could be considered a senior officer. And back then, and then we had the guys that were 25 and 30 years on. Those are the old gods right there. Like, whatever they said went. That's it. If they pulled up on scene, do this. That was it. Do it. That was your Bible. Whatever the 30-year guy says goes. He's been doing this shit since Christ was a corporal. So just do what he says. Now you got rookies training rookies.
Yeah.
That is dangerous because you haven't learned the job enough yourself. Now you're going to try to pass on what you've learned to somebody else. But agencies have no choice. So you got guys who just finished their probationary year now being field training officers. That is a scary, scary process. I can tell you from a detective point of view, I can tell when I get those reports because I can see in the report that there was a trainee and a trainer together. And the trainee's going to have to write the main offense report. The trainer should at least do a supplement. Hey, I saw this and this too. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But both reports look the same. They're both fucked up because even the trainer's not experienced. I'm like, oh my God, dude, really? So how can you, the trainer with a year on, correct the trainee?
Yeah.
So that's why I got lucky. All my FTOs were like 25 plus. So they expected more. And they demanded a higher standard. And they held you to it. Like, hey, redo this whole fucking report. We were just coming online with the digital shit. And they would, let me look at your report. And you move over, they get in front of your report, and they copy, delete all. Redo it. That was crap. They're like, you learned to save. Save. But they did that to get you to understand, like, do it right the first time. Don't half-ass it. Did it suck? Yeah. If you were smart, you just kept your mouth shut. Yes, sir. Sometimes you're going to get that asshole FTO that you did nothing wrong, he just wants to fuck with you. But then there's fucking with you for a reason. Fucking with you with a purpose in mind to get you to certain memories to remember. Here's a point. I want you to retain this point I'm teaching you versus I'm just going to be a dick because I'm your trainer and I want to be an asshole. There's two different kinds.
Yep.
The next one is officer wellness and morale. Now, we had a whole episode on officer wellness.
Yeah.
And that's really going to be your mental well-being, mental health.
It can be physical as far as
It can be, too, because what's the three things that kill officers?
Suicide.
Car crashes, gunfire, and cardiac.
And I think
the gunfire can be suicide. Because that's typically what we use as cops is guns because we have a gun.
And I think the numbers, like a recent trend is showing that more officer deaths with, like you said, gunfire, it's more self-inflicted versus like shithead, which goes to officer wellness.
So many officers report high levels of fatigue and burnout, which can impact efficiency and effectiveness. Yeah, no shit. If you're burned out because you can't get time off, you get the same shit you're in the hood every day instead of getting the nice area for a couple of days to maybe just kind of get a break, and you're in the hood every day. Like even if you're a go-getter, you're still gonna hit fatigue.
You'll get old, yeah.
Eventually, like, dude, I need a break.
Yep.
Send me up to the nice part of town for a little while. Let me get a little bit of a break. Take the dude that's been living up here for months, high life, put his ass in the fucking hood. Let him do some fucking work. And then give me a couple days. I'll probably be asking, hey, can I go back?
Burned out before he leaves roll call.
That's right.
Finds out, I'm where?
Oh, here's the big one.
Oh, man.
Concerns about the risk of prosecution for actions taken in the line of duty are a significant stressor.
It is.
They really are, because you're looking like, shit, if I do this, am I going to be in trouble?
Cause you to freeze.
That's a cause of hesitation, and that's a cause of officers to get hurt or killed. That's why you see officers giving 50 warnings. Put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down, because they figure, hey, if I say it 50 times, then I finally will not get in trouble. You should have to say it once, and that's it. Put the gun down, and that's it. That's the only warning you should be able to get.
Remember that body camera footage with the officers who retreated like however many feet?
All the way down that all the way out of the roadway?
He still got put in the headlock.
Yeah, and he was still trying to take the officer's weapon, got in the... I was like, what the fuck? Then both those officers got fired. I was like, good.
That's a prime example of that.
Good. Right there. That's exactly what that was. They were so scared they'd get in trouble, they pulled the trigger. They should have pulled the trigger 100 yards back.
And they did what they thought society, what the public would want them to do.
And the public's like, what a bunch of cowards. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Just don't bother trying.
Crazy. They got fired.
And then support for mental health, wellness programs, and efforts to improve morale are seen as critical for retention. Problem is, sounds good. Sounds great.
You got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it. And agencies just don't usually have that kind of money to toss out there. So if you want to start an officer a mental health or wellness program, you're talking about hiring a psychiatrist, a psychologist, giving her or him support and money, a space to work, the understanding that whatever is told to that psychologist is private. That psychologist is not going to run off to admin and go, oh, he said this and this and this. Now, obviously, if you're threatening to kill yourself, that's kind of a different story. They have a duty to stop you from doing that. But it's like, this fucking admin's a cocksucker and blah, 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 blah. They're not going to run to the sheriff or the chief and go, oh, he said this and this. So a lot of officers are scared to talk to those kinds of people because they're like, shit, is this stuff really going to stay in this office? Or are you going to take it upstairs? And my personal opinion has now become public forum. And now that sheriff or chief's like, oh, okay, motherfucker, I got something for you. You don't like crossing duty? Guess where you're going for a month. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of it, too. The shit we have to see as cops. We can be mentally as tough all day long. But there's still shit you're going to see that will get to you.
Yeah.
I had a recent one. It's not even been close to adjudicated, so I can't really go into details. But it involved children. Multiple children. That one got to me. That one bothered me. And I don't get bothered by much anymore. It takes a lot to get me wound up. But kids will do it. Like adults say, you're a fucking dumbass, dude. Yeah, that one coming. Sorry. When it's kids that can't defend themselves or protect themselves and you put them in danger and they get hurt, yeah, I get a little irritated. That one got to me. To the point where my partner was calling me the next day, man, are you okay? Are you good? Need to talk? Are you all right? He's never asked me that before. Yeah, that's how bothered he could tell I was. And I was, and I still am. And it was multiple children. Again, I won't go into details. It was bad. We charged mom with a lot of felonies. And I mean double-digit felonies. And she deserved every one and more. But now we got to just do our job and then put it forward to the DA's office, let them handle it from there. But yeah, that got to me. So the shit you see, it does back up on you. It does back up on you. And that's the old saying, your cup overfloweth. You can get to that point where that cup overflows.
Yep.
And now you are, your guns start talking to you.
Yeah.
So because you feel like there's no way out.
Yeah.
And there is a way out, guys. There is a way out. You can leave the job. You're so marketable as a police officer. You're so marketable. Any job is like, oh, we'll take you in a heartbeat. You can start your own business. Now, a lot of it is financial freedom. The days of us being able to save money and put money into savings where we had something to fall back on while we look for a new job, that's really hard these days.
Yeah.
You'd have to be lucky enough to own a house with no payment and no car payments where you could put money aside every month. To what they tell you should have a year's salary in the bank.
Yeah, right.
That's fantastic. I have that much in debt.
That's just.
But if you're one of the lucky ones that can do that, you're financially disciplined to have money put aside to where you can go, you know what? Fuck this. And leave. Do it before it costs you everything. And I know a lot of officers that have quit, and I run into them. How you doing? Brother, life is good. I don't got to do shit. I don't got to do that bullshit, that bullshit. I don't give a fuck no more. I turned in my license completely and had it shut off. Like, really? You didn't keep it off? Fuck no. I was done. I called T-Cole and said, kill my license. I'm like, damn, you really burned that bridge. Yeah, fuck that. And they're happier. All of a sudden, they look happier. They're gaining weight. Again, they look happier. They look healthier. Because some of these guys don't look really all that healthy. And especially if you see them every day, it's hard to tell that. But if you see an officer and you haven't seen him for 6 months, you look at him and go, holy shit, dude, you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Why? Because you look like a fucking skeleton. And the last time I saw you, what's wrong, man? And they don't realize how bad they look because to them, they're living it every day and they're getting worse and worse and worse.
Right.
I had no gray hair when I became a cop. None. I mean, it is what it is. It does get to you. It wears you out.
It does.
The tempo is high, especially in a county like this. It's large, massive, with the caseload that's through the roof. And the constant stresses that come with that, and the political pressures, and the pressure on the public, and the pressures on the victims' families, and even the pressures on the shitheads' lawyers. It backs up on you. And you're just like, one day you're going to hit the line and go, fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass. And then you're now like, well, fuck, now what do I do?
Yeah, because it's just, that expectation to always just like be perfect and professional. You got to have some, people got to have some freaking, some forgiveness, man. A
lot of that starts with forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
You have to forgive yourself. You can't save everybody. You're never going to get it right every single time.
Yep.
You got to hope you made the right call and that you can justify it and look yourself in the mirror and look a jury in the eye and go, I made the right choice today. Not always possible. Some situations, there ain't no policy to cover it and no law to cover it. And you're just like, you're doing the best you can with what you got. And you got to pray that your experience and your professionalism could save the day somehow. And that way you don't end up on the fucking wrong end of that on the news. And it's a shit deal some days. It really is a shit deal some days. Mm-hmm. And for those that are contemplating doing this job, it is rewarding. I would like to think I've helped far more than I've hurt. I've helped people. I've made a lot of friends. I think I've made a positive impact in my community, whether that was arresting the right people that need to be arrested. And I've had people thank me for arresting them. I've ran into them years later. Hey, you actually saved my life for arresting me. Thank you. Because that's, finally, like, I hit rock bottom. You know what, man? I'm glad to hear that. How you doing? You okay? I'll talk to you. I will absolutely talk to you. It ain't personal. Now, if you walk up to me in a Walmart and I got my wife and kids with me, and you want to start running your mouth, you're going to have a fucking problem. I'm going to tell her, get the kids to keep going. This is going to get noisy.
Yeah.
Kids don't need to see what's about to happen. But if you walk up to me and say, hey, sir, do you marry me? No, man. Hey, man, you arrested me several years ago, and I just wanted to say thank you. It really helped me, actually, because I hit rock bottom because of that. And, well, what they say about rock bottom, the only place to go is up. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Those are far and few between. Most people don't take accountability, so they see, oh, motherfucker, you arrested me. It's your fault. No, you did it. I'm just an officer that had to deal with you. Mm-hmm. And I did to you what every single officer would have done. Because it's all read the same book called the Texas Criminal Law and Traffic Manual. Sorry if you don't like it. So if you're coming to do this job, you're not always going to get it right. You're not always going to make the right choice. You got to hope your good outweighs your bad, that you make a good, like I tell cadets, you make a moral, legal, or ethical decision. It's got to pass those three. It's a morally right, legally right, ethically right. If you can do that, you can justify everything you do. Whether it's to a jury, whether it's to a civil rights board, whether it's to whatever, you can justify what you did. I made a good moral decision. I made a good legal decision. I made a good ethical decision.
Yep.
Because morals and ethics are not the same thing. Got to bear in mind, what you think is ethical is not what everybody else think is ethical. So bear in mind that we're a hodgepodge society, that everybody has different ideas of what they view as ethically right or morally right. What you have on your side, number one, is it legally right? Because that's what you are, as a law enforcement officer, so legally right. Mm-hmm. Your own morals and ethics do have a line. You can't force your morals and ethics on anybody else.
Yep.
Okay? Dude, you shouldn't talk to your wife that way. Well, that's their marriage. As long as they're not putting their hands on each other, you really don't have a say in it. Now, you can good advice, like, hey, dude, look, I'm married a couple times, and I'll tell you right now, I've tried that approach, and it didn't really work. Like, you might want to learn. Fuck you. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their marriage.
Yeah.
As long as they're not putting their hands on each other, you can stand there and referee. Okay, time.
Or you could be the lecturer.
Yeah.
Which nobody likes that person.
Yeah, I did that when I was a rookie. It don't work. One, they're not going to take you seriously. You don't know their marriage. You don't know their life. You don't know their story. And you're all of a sudden coming in like you're an expert on their fucking relationship. They're both going to look at you and go, fuck you.
It's funny, like the 21-year-old that goes in there and tries to lecture like the 30, the 40-year-old married couple. Like,
now, the good news is, by the time I became a cop, I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
I had been married twice. I could speak to some expertise on what not to do. That's for damn sure. I could definitely speak to what not to do. Hey man, don't do that, because I can tell you for a fact don't do that.
Not the 21-year-old.
That don't work.
Still swiping left
But
and
the
right
20,
on Tinder.
yeah, exactly. The 21-year-old who's never married. You got two 40-year-olds going, we got kids your age. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, so basically, the way you got to approach that for the rookies that are listening, you're not going in there to fix the problem. You can't fix the problem. You can't. It's not your problem to fix. You got to go in there and just get it cooled off before someone gets hurt. That's all you really can do. Like, hey guys, I can't speak to your marriage. I'm not in your marriage, but is this really the best way to approach it? Your kids upstairs listening, like, come on guys, we really don't want to have to come back. We really don't want to come back here and take someone to jail because you guys won't calm down. Can one of y'all maybe go somewhere else for the night, or at least a couple hours, and just cool off? You know what I mean? Now you're not telling them how to live their life. You're just saying, hey, let's take a break. And you'll get a little better response off that. Now, if you're an officer in your 30s, 40s, 50s, who's got some grizzled to him, they might listen to you. Like, hey, guys, I've been here. I've been there twice. I get it. I understand. But remember how you talk to each other. Some things you can't take back, But the 20-year-old, hey, guys, my experience getting my dick sucked back behind the drive-in tells me how you should do your marriage. They'll be like, fuck you. You go get your dick wet first before you come talk to me. Do more than swipe right. So it's, again, anything police is controversial. There's always going to be a side that says you did it wrong. There's always going to be a side that said you did it right. And cops, we're harder on each other than the media could ever be to each other. That's what the public does not see, because cops don't do it in front of other people.
Yeah.
Get back to the substation. Hey, motherfucker, you're a fucking idiot. What the fuck is wrong with you? You dumbass.
Yeah.
Heard it all, seen that, said it a few times, had it said to me.
Yeah.
Because cops are very opinionated. Hey, man, you fucked that shit up. Man, fuck you, I didn't fuck anything up. Kiss my ass. You do it next time. Fuck you, you want to fight? we used to have what's called choir practice way back in the day. At the end of the shift, we'd be in the back of the sub taking care of issues in the back of the parking lot. Like, hey, motherfucker, take your gun belt off. You and I are going to have a talk. Take your shit off. Take your top off, vest off, and gun belt off. We're going to talk about this shit. Nothing in the face, because I don't want to explain this to SARS tomorrow. And then somebody goes and cries, they hazed me, and that killed all that. Like, no, that was actually healthy. That's where you took some constructive criticism from the old hat. I said, stop it. Okay, got it. Yes, sir. When I first went to the CERT team at the jail, which is the SWAT team for the jail, they need to know you're tough. They need to know you can handle an ass. They need to know you can get in a fight. That you're not just gonna curl up on the ground. They want you to fight, not
inevitable in jail,
not freeze or flight.
Yeah.
They want you to fight. So I knew I was gonna get my ass kicked by the whole team. I knew it was fucking coming, and I knew it. And they just don't tell you which night it's gonna be. They know you don't know when. So when you all put your hands in, whoa, Bundy, I didn't know my night, but I had a feeling it was coming. And as soon as they grabbed my wrist, I knew it was coming. They yanked me in the center. They dogpiled my ass. They expected me to fight back. It was similar to a quarter check. That's pretty much what it was for us. I fought back. They were kicking me, hitting me. I'm fighting back, trying to fucking whatever I can get some shots in there. They just want to know I could fight. Are you going to just curl up on the ball on the floor and run away, or are you actually going to throw hands with us? And once they realized I throw hands, okay, cool. And then they're going to start testing you again. Like, hey, you're the first one in that cell with that asshole, dude. You're the first one through the fucking door, man. You were hit in the mouth by this asshole. We took it easy on you. This asshole ain't going to take it easy on you. And once they did that a couple times, now you're part of the group. Like, okay, all we want to know is that you're willing to fight if you had to. That's
Group
what this job is for.
tactics.
Yeah, that's what this job is for.
Yeah.
If you curl up on the ground, stop hitting me, and then you run off to the watch commander. Oh, okay. You just fucked yourself ever being active on that team. You were the reserve officer for the rest of your career. You'd be lucky to ever have to deal with a problem because, nah, dude, you're a little bitch. That's what you are. Like, and the watch commanders all know what's going on. A lot of them were on CERT at some point, 15, 20 years prior. Like, they know. Mm-hmm. But people enough complain, and they come down and go, stop doing that. You're like, you're killing the effectiveness of this fucking team. Because the team you want is the fighters. The ones who are willing to bail into a unit that's under full riot with 100 inmates fucking fighting and pile in there with just 6 officers and start getting it done. And now you got officers stand outside and go, I ain't getting in there. Like, get your ass in there, dude. That's what's called a good time. Mm-hmm. That's it, because there are no more rules. In a riot, there are no rules. Get it under control now. However you got to do it, get it under control. Because we know riots spread.
Oh, yeah.
Next unit starts. The next unit starts. The next unit starts. Stop this shit now. Ain't no rules. They're wearing orange or red, and they got a bald head. You're swinging. You got that 3-foot baton, and you're just crack, crack, crack. Because you got to get under control now. And then figure it all out once you get under control. Then you're like, well, shit, who did I hit? Because you got to write it up. Like, fuck, which one did I hit? Which one of the motherfuckers I hit? All of us. Nah, not all of you. So, those are the issues facing law enforcement, and that's why we kind of wanted to we could spend 6 hours on each topic individually because there's just so much. It boils down to the public does not understand what we do, how we do, what we're made of, what our responsibilities are, what our rules are. They don't understand the law like they think they do because of TikTok and Instagram and everything else that says this is what the law says. If you have questions about the law, consult an attorney. Okay? You'll be surprised that most of our answers are about the same as ours. Because they still understand the law.
But they're still not right.
Sometimes they're not right. Sometimes it's for effect, too. Like, they know they're just going to say it for effect. But if you called a lawyer going, he's ordering me to get out of the car, what should I do? He's going to say, get out of the car. He's going to tell you, get out of the car. That's what he's going to tell you to do because he knows that by law, you have to get out of the car. He's not going to say, don't get out of the car. No, he knows Pennsylvania versus Mims just as well, if not better than that officer.
Yeah.
So don't think because a lawyer that you call a lawyer that all of a sudden that's the magic. You're scot-free. I know a lot of defense lawyers. We talk all the fucking time, and they're like, my client's a fucking idiot. Like, I've had to tell them, yeah, the officer did nothing wrong. You did. Like, I could try to attack this, but the officer did nothing wrong. Sorry, you're a fucking idiot. You should have done what he told you to do in X, Y, Z. And then you get the guy, well, I didn't want to because I didn't believe. Okay, it doesn't matter what you believed. The officer told you. That's it. So a lot of defense lawyers I know are actually like pretty hard on their clients. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, stop calling me, man. I mean, you're making me money, but stop calling me. So that's what I wanted to talk about today was police controversy, ethics, use of force, just the issues that face law enforcement right now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. There's going to have to be some sort of something to happen to reverse public opinion. And unfortunately, it's going to be something very big and very bad to do that. And so it's like, I really don't want that either. We don't need another Uvalde, but reverse where the officers rush in there and actually get it done correctly. that means someone still had to die somewhere to do that. So
Yeah.
where's the middle ground here where we can start gaining the public's trust again? Like, hey, we're not actually here to hurt you. We don't want to hurt you. It's not my goal to hurt you. My goal is to enforce the law, keep the peace, and protect people. That's what I'm trying to do. But it's getting, how do we get the public back on our side? Like, hey, man, we're not trying to hurt you.
I don't know. Probably, you know how, like, if it leads, it bleeds. It'd probably have to be the reverse of that. Like,
Yeah.
anything good or positive
Needs to get out there.
Needs to get out there, but then, of course, that's going to be tackled as indoctrination. Or,
Yeah. You want
know,
fair and balanced.
Just,
Look, here's an officer that fucked
how
up.
about it's not indoctrination? How about it's just we highlight some good because we always highlight bad?
Why not?
How about that?
That's, you
Like,
can't do them both.
Yeah.
Like, this officer screwed up. This officer saved a life today. Why not?
How about you do it like sports? Top 10 greatest cop moments of the week, and then you got your top 10 not so great
That's right. Now you have what's
cop
called
moments of the week.
fair and balanced.
There you go.
Fair and balanced. That's all we're saying.
Here we got
We're not
the-
saying don't talk about the cops that fucked up.
We got the Randy Moss of police officers this week, and then we got the I don't know who's the Tim Couch of Cleveland Browns Tim
Wow.
Couch. Like, yeah, there we go.
Ouch.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fuck it, because that's what it is.
Look, we're not saying don't highlight officer misconduct because it's there. We can't hide it, and if you look like you're trying to hide it, now you got controversy because you're conspiracy, you know, all that bullshit. But put some good out there too. This officer saved a life. This officer did CPR and this person got him back. He beat the medics there and he did CPR. Or this officer pulled a child out of a pool. Or this officer helped an old lady cross the street. Even if it's something simple as that. But damn it. Or this officer stopped a car full of black people and they got a warning and had a nice day. Like, stop making everything fucking bad because that's all the public sees and they assume that's every single interaction now, building that distrust and that hatred. No, just be fair and balanced. Good and bad. Good and bad. Try that, and you might see a different response. People going, yeah, they fuck up, but they also did this good thing, too. Because that's every single career field out there. There's great doctors, there's shitty doctors.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't really talk about the shitty doctors. They just talk about the great doctors. Well, why don't you try that with us?
Make a TV show about it. House.
Right? Well,
Which is funny.
Okay, well.
House is a good doctor, but he's
a fucking prick. So you got shows like Blue Buds, which was a great show.
It was.
Everybody's like, oh my God, those are all just bootlickers. I'm like, yeah, they were trying to be positive about it. Now, they had some episodes where cops had screwed the pooch.
Oh, yeah.
But the great thing about Blue Buds, though, is they show behind the scenes the impacts of certain decisions made by administrators. Why they don't just rush to judgment sometimes. Like, well, hold on. We need the whole story because what looked bad ain't always bad. And sometimes it really was bad. Sometimes it wasn't really as represented.
And it wasn't all bootlicking. Like, I remember the episode where, like, Jamie threw the cop, threw a bucket of water on the dude who threw a bucket of water on the officers underneath him. That was a real incident in New York. There was New York PD officers who had a bucket of water thrown on them, and what does anyone who's listening to this actually think happened to the people who threw the bucket of water on the officers? Shit didn't happen. Because I mean that's just like how it is in New York. It's just like the morale in
that's
NY.
modern NYPD. 20 years ago, they'd have got their ass whipped for that little move.
20 years ago, the NYPD was whatever.
They'd have stomped them. They just said every car here forthwith, and they would have stomped them.
Well,
that would have been the end of that.
I don't know. Like,
But now it's easier for them to go, you know what? I'd rather be embarrassed here than respond and arrest them. It goes bad, and now I'm looking at possibly getting charged.
they took a real scenario and put a spin on what if the supervisor stood up for his guys, and that's what happened. Because I mean, you think it's cool to throw a bucket of water on two cops, knowing that the cops really can't do nothing about it? Maybe give you a DAT, a desk appearance ticket for throwing some fucking water on an officer? Ridiculous.
Yeah, what is that? Assault by water? It's like you really can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so
it's Class
he
C.
went.
That's at most Class C for assault by contact.
He went and threw some water back.
It's
Hey,
like-
to me, hey, that's fair game, man.
Fair's
That's
fair.
community
It's what you
engagement.
did, we did it back.
That's
Hey,
community engagement.
Wipe the slate. We're good.
You got mine, I got you.
That's right. So, brothers and sisters, we hope you listen to what we have to say. We hope you take it to heart. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the experience in the world. I've got, almost a decade and a half. He's got over a decade. We have some experience. We've been there, kind of done it. We work in a large area with a huge population. There ain't too much we really haven't seen. Have we seen every single thing? No, but we've seen enough to be able to make the right decision. We've come across something we haven't seen because we have the experience based upon all the years behind us to go, here's what I think we should do. But we have enough experience to tell you what's right, what's wrong. Okay? You know what's right and what's wrong. We all know what's right and what's wrong. Make the right legal, ethical, moral decision and you'll be okay. You may catch some heat initially, but when the whole story comes out, generally you'll be all right. And this is why law officers get fired so fast with agencies, get their job back in arbitration because they give the whole story to the arbitrator, and the arbitrator goes, yeah, you shouldn't have fired him. What's wrong with you? Give him his job back and back pay. But then agencies start fucking with that guy. Like,
usually the whole story is
how dare you get your job
behind
back?
closed doors. Yeah.
Yes. So for our fans out there, we do appreciate you hanging out with us today. We love talking to y'all. We want your emails. Our email is runnincode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. Runnincode2023@gmail.com. You can leave comments on the videos on YouTube, whether the audio or the video itself. So you can email us. The only thing we ask is if it's, anything racial, racist comments, we don't need to hear that shit. No one needs to hear that shit. Those we will delete. But if you have a genuine beef with something we said, email us.
You probably will with this episode.
We'll address
maybe.
it. Yeah, and we'll address it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you why we think you're right, or why we think you're wrong, or apologize if we overstepped. I don't think we did, but if you can bring up a point that we missed, okay, we'll hear it. We're not above hearing a counter opinion. And if you have an idea, something you want to hear in an episode, something you want to hear us talk about, something you want us to cover that we haven't covered, by all means, email us or leave a comment, and we'll address that. If you send us an email, bear in mind, we're going to read the email on the podcast. So bear that in mind. We're going to read it. So if there's something you don't want read, you can put that in there. Please don't read this part. Okay, not a problem.
Or we'll pick up a context and we'll be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't read this part. It depends.
We try to be respectful of those who have emailed us. If there's certain things you've asked us not to divulge, we won't divulge it. Because we want people to email us, and we're not going to throw your shit out there if you ask us, hey, please don't talk about this part. Okay, fair enough. Because we understand privacy. We have our privacy. And so we'll abide by yours. But if you don't ask us not to keep anything hidden, and it's funny, well, we're going to let it rip. Now, obviously, we're not going to divulge your email address. We're not going to do that. That's not cool. We're not doing that shit. You don't have to give us your last name. Give us a first name. But no, you don't have to give us a last name or where you're from.
Or a pseudonym.
Or a pseudonym. We don't care. But we're not going to put your personal information out there. We're not going to put your email out there. So, everybody be safe this week. Holidays are coming. The domestic violence is going up. The suicide rate's going up, even among officers, not just civilians. So please watch each other. Some officers, this is all they have is this job. This is their whole life. And the holidays magnify everything and make it worse. And they see everybody getting together with family and they're alone. So please check up on each other. If you got that fellow officer that doesn't seem to have anywhere to go for Christmas and you have family coming over, hey, you always say we're family. Bring them over. Be family with them. Or her. Make them feel included. We don't want anyone feeling alone and they end up going home and deep-throating their guns. So please try to put a stop to that. If someone ain't acting the same as they always do, talk to them. Ask him, are you okay? What is wrong? And there's nothing wrong with that. I check up on him. He checks up on me. I check on my partner at work all the time. He checks up on me. Especially when you've seen something traumatic and you know it was a fucked up, shitty, right there on the scene, probably ain't the time to deal with it. But later, hey, man, you okay? And you talk about it. The hardest part for us is to talk about it because a word will start crying. Well, crying's fucking healthy. I'm not saying bawl in front of civilians on a scene. That ain't the time to do that. Easier said than done sometimes, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
But later, in the privacy of your car, in the back of the sub, hey, we got to stick together. The days that boys don't cry, has caused a lot of fucking problems now. So now we're paying for all that right now. So, brother or sister, take care of yourself this week. Citizens that watch our show, I think we're in. Let me get the list. I believe we are now in 70 countries. Let me make sure I got that right. All time. Sorry, 43 countries and 762 cities.
There we go.
So we're getting up there. We're over 10,100 downloads. We're getting there. Just in the last 7 days, we had 91. The last 30 days, we had 352. So, I mean, we're getting there. Some get more downloads than others. And
yeah, it's understandable.
If there is a hot topic you want us to talk about, hey, let us know. Let it rip. We'll talk about it if it's appropriate to what we do. We're not going to talk about something that's inappropriate. So, that's our spiel this week. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the last episode, how arrest and search warrants work. This episode will air. What is next Sunday?
Oh, I looked at like if I had my watch on me.
The 21st. So, for those watching this episode will be on December 21st. So, and then we're gonna have Christmas. So we'll talk to you guys after Christmas.
Yeah.
After this episode. So, Jamie, anything on your dad?
No, nothing else.
Nothing pertinent. You think we hit it all today?
Yeah, I think so.
Good enough for me. So, from J-Man and I here in South Texas, Running Code, we wish you all a good week, and we're out of here.